Do you think love languages should apply to family and friends?
Absolutely. I'm big on quality time, right? From a relationship perspective. But is that truly what I value with my friends, my family? Yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
You gonna steal my yo?
What's up, coworkers? I just had to go with it.
I appreciate you. Because you know why you had to go with it?
Why?
Because it's your birthday. Clap it up for the birthday.
Yes. Well, yesterday was my birthday.
Well, yesterday, according to the day that we record in this episode, we want to give a huge shout out to the birthday girl. 25, you know what I mean?
Is it?
25.
I said that when I was 25.
It's okay. It could work for both.
Okay. Yeah.
Do it work for both?
Yeah.
All right, cause shit, she 25. She was 25 last year. She gonna be 25 next year. She always 25. Let them know, Dana.
Jesus.
Happy birthday.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that. Welcome back, guys, to the We Outside Afterwork podcast. I am Dana, and this episode is gonna be just a little birthday vibe. As you can see, we got on the birthday. What is it?
Ensemble.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
this ain't that.
Yeah. I didn't honestly when I brought that hat. I didn't think it was gonna be that big.
I mean, you try to get it for your own head, not mine.
Yeah.
I can't help it, you know.
But yeah, it's been a minute since we had a solo episode, which it was just us. So we definitely got to do the check-in per usual.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing well. So obviously my birthday was yesterday, and shout out to Lex, who was on episode 24, because she had a game night that we both went to, and it was fun.
Yeah, we was turned up. Every time the doorbell rang, I had to take a shot. So
yeah, and I was late. Like I was probably like 2 hours late. Just, it was the weather, and then I couldn't find anything to wear. Like it was just a lot going on.
The craziest part is like these her friends. So I'm over here.
Yeah, you got there first.
And I got there late. So I'm like, I don't like being late. My name is Aaron Early for a reason. I don't like being late nowhere. So I'm outside just walking back and forth.
But the thing with my friends, though, like, regardless of who it is, if I call you a friend, like, you're very inviting. Like, you're welcoming.
They was real dope.
Yeah, you're not standoffish. Like, to me, those people are kind of weird, and I don't really fuck with them anyway. So, yeah, like, you felt comfortable just to go in.
Yeah, like, I think all group settings should be like that, where it's like, yo, whoever is in here is family. You in somebody's home. You feel me?
Because
like,
she knew you were coming. It wasn't just and she met you.
Yeah, you don't want to be like that person that feels uncomfortable. Like even if you're an introvert, like you don't want to be uncomfortable in the space of new people, because now it's just the vibe is getting kind of fucked up. But everybody was full of life.
Yeah,
so
it was a game night.
Dope experience.
We played spades.
Oh, I don't know.
We were spades partners, and we killed it though.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. We won.
No, we didn't.
I looked at the paper. We won.
Okay. When I tell y'all that it was...
I was just fucking up the books, though.
Because we didn't win. We got shot back to back. It's okay. I'm going to let her believe that we won. It's her birthday.
I could have sworn we won. I literally circled it and put it on my Instagram. Of like, maybe it was their score. I don't know.
But back to you. Let's check in. How you been?
I've been good. So I actually just had my first cavities filled. Like the first cavities in my entire life. Like I never had a cavity before. No. So I actually don't really eat candy and stuff like that, but my dentist was like, as you get older, that's just something that happens. Like your teeth, they tend to erode because you're just old, you know? So yeah, like I did that. It wasn't too bad. Like
it's crazy though, right? Because medical insurance, health insurance, all that kind of stuff, dental, whatever that's called.
Vision.
I couldn't think of this shit. But a lot of people have these insurances, and Dana actually talked to me about this last week. She was like, you need to take advantage of it.
They don't use them.
Yeah, like, because I hate the doctor.
Yeah. It's funny that, like, after you told me that you really didn't want to go to the doctor for your issue you were having, my mom called me because my dad is sort of like that, too, where he don't really
it's a
like...
man thing.
Is it?
Yeah, men, we don't like doctors.
Yeah, my dad, like, he had to go to the foot doctor for something. And my mom, she was basically saying that, like, can you talk to him? Because he always listens to you so that, like, you know, he can go just in case something is not, like, bad now and so it doesn't get worse. So I was like, yeah, sure. So he ended up going to the foot doctor and doing what he had to do. But my thing is, like, I'm paying for my insurance out of my check. Like that is the way I look at it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna keep paying for something that I'm not gonna use.
Yeah, but at the same time, I know what the news is already. Like, when I go to the doctor because I have a headache, I don't need the doctor to tell me I have a headache. Like, I know I got a headache. I can feel my head hurting.
But if you constantly keep having an issue, like you keep getting headaches, like it can be something more serious.
It go away.
No, because that's actually like the thing where like if you let something, that's why sometimes cancer, like colon cancer, like that's one of the main causes of death for Black men is colon cancer.
Yeah, and I know
it can be avoided if you go to the doctor and get the colonoscopies and get checked out. But like you said, y'all don't be wanting to go to the doctor.
And I know I'm being a little facetious now during this conversation, but we got to pay attention to the gradually versus the suddenly, right? Because we don't want to be in a situation where gradually we're having ailments and pains and things all of a sudden. It's gonna hit you. Like it's like an avalanche, right? It only takes one snowfall to cause an avalanche, and next thing you know, you bearing down the mountain with thousands of feet worth of pressure, worth of snow.
Yeah, now
when you could have avoided it.
You in the hospital bed, like where you honestly could have avoided it.
Moment that he knew he fucked up.
Yes. So let's get back to the birthday topic since this is a birthday episode. So I want to talk about birthday dinners. So this is one of the trending topics that's always on Instagram, and we don't really like to do trending topics, but today, since
because it's your birthday,
right? Yesterday was my birthday.
We didn't have a birthday episode for me though.
Why didn't we?
Nah.
No, because you was on vacation.
Nope, I wasn't.
I don't know. It don't matter at this point. But yeah, so birthday dinners. Do you like birthday dinners?
Honestly, I feel like they're very awkward. I don't like attention all on me. Like I like attention. Don't get me wrong. Like I like.
Yeah, you definitely like attention.
I like attention, but I don't like when everything is like.
It's like we're here for you. Like I've had birthday dinners in the past, but it's not the attention thing that I don't like. It's more so the just like paying the birthday dinner. I think that's always an issue when it comes to groups because that's usually when people are like penny pinching. And also I feel like the birthday person shouldn't pay.
Nah, not at all.
For their birthday dinner.
The birthday person shouldn't come out of pocket. I don't care if you get lobster, steak, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, right? We all a family. We all supposed to pitch in to make sure we look out for you. But at the same time, you gotta know your surroundings. Like we talked on a couple episodes ago, as a group, we're supposed to look out for you. But if that ain't the type of group you in, you need to know your friends.
Those are not your friends.
I don't want to say they're not your friends because everybody is different.
I'm big on the word friendship. Like, I use that very lightly just because we all have, like, acquaintances. Like, everyone is not your friend. And once you realize that, I feel like things will be... I think that was one of the episodes where we talked about expectations and what friendships looks like to you. And for me, it's like if I call you a friend, then you're someone that I can depend on, I can trust, like I can confide in. And if not, and if you don't like look out for me, then like to me, that's not a friend.
I just don't find that fair because everybody's different with money, right? How I was raised might be how I operate with the cash flow that I have in my pocket, right? If I was always taught that I fend for myself, that might be what I only do. So I want to give people grace on that because it might not be personal.
I think it's conversation then prior to the
But what, you're not going to invite him
dinner.
Or her if that person is like, oh, I'm sorry, but I only pay for myself. This is something I believe in.
I would say when you send out that invitation or that group text to your friends, it should be clear. Like, oh, we're splitting the bill like this.
I don't think nobody...
no one does that. Yeah. Right. No one does that. But I'm saying I feel like the issues would be avoided if people started to do that. Like, actually
that's a hard sell.
Why?
Because, like I said, like a lot of people are very funny with their money, especially in today's economy where shit keep going up and rent is crazy.
And that's why I don't do birthday dinners.
Okay.
Because of that.
Well, I keep the group low. Like I only try to do a birthday dinner with me and the fellas. Right, it's 4 of us.
Yeah, I can't do like 10, 15 people at a table. Like that's doing too much unless it's family.
Yeah, and when it's family, like again we talked about before, it's easier for everybody to understand each other, get along. Even if this person ain't got it, at least you my cousin, so I'm gonna see you in a couple weeks where you can hook me up or look me out.
True.
But friends, be mindful of who you go with, who you invite. Like Dana's going to a nice hot spot for her birthday. Everybody ain't going. Everybody can't pay. Everybody can't play.
So
some people got kids. It ain't happening.
Right. And I actually had family members who did feel away. So the way I sent out the invitation, just because okay, like when I planned the trip, I knew everyone wasn't going to go, like you said. But I also wanted everyone to be aware just in case they were able to go. So I sent out a mass email with the dates, the place we were staying, and the excursions that we were going to do. So I kind of just left it up to people who I sent it to be like, oh, I'm definitely coming or I can't go. And it was an all-inclusive adults-only resort. So that was like one of the main things that my family was like, why would you pick a place that was like no kids?
Because we don't want to party with no kids.
But I don't have kids is the thing. Like my friends that, because Jasmine is going to, shout out to Dr. Jazz. Yeah, so we don't have children. So we're going to plan according to us. And then if it's convenient for you, then yeah, you can, adjust your schedule to come.
Yeah, and I think the people with kids, they also need to recognize nobody want to hang out with y'all kids. Like, it's not you. It's not personal. It's like
not personal.
I got Nori in the back right now while we doing the show, and she running around like a madman. I don't want that on vacation. Like, you ever been on a cruise with the kids?
No.
Yo, kids is fucking, they're nuts. Like, sit down somewhere, goddammit.
Yeah, my aunt, she was saying how even when you go on vacation to places where there are children, most people, when they go on vacation with their kids, like, they honestly are not really paying too much attention to them. They're like, oh,
or they're paying too much attention to them and not the rest of the party.
Okay, yeah, but on the side of, like, when they go on vacation and it's just like, oh, we're having a great time, we're drinking with the grown-ups, and then the kids will be over there. It's like, things can happen. Like, your kid can accidentally fall into a pool, can accidentally, like, get into some shit because their parents aren't watching them. So you being the person that's, like, just there enjoying yourself, you see something happening to a child or their parent not really paying attention, you're going to automatically just, like, watch out for the child. At least I am.
So you got another milestone birthday coming up next year, correct?
I do.
All right, so it's going to be something big that you going to want the people that you value the most to be at. My only suggestion to you is give us more time, because
yes, and I put in the invitation, it was last minute, and I knew it was last minute because we planned this. I think it was the middle of January. Like, that was when we were like, all right, we're going on vacation. So I understand that, like, you have different things that you have to pay for and save up for,
or work time. Like, for me, I would have loved to go. Like, no problem. Me and Ashima, we'd be ready to go on a vacation. But at the same time, got to get PTO, got to get babysitters, got to get different things like that. Because it's not hard, but some people need the time.
Yeah.
So for the parents out there that's upset that y'all can't go, I apologize.
You just can't go.
You just can't go. Who told you to have them kids anyway?
Ooh,
you know?
See, I ain't say all of that.
If they would have just broke up with that person and I had them children.
Anyways, let's get into you, to catch up with you.
Okay.
How are you? How's things been?
Things have been difficult. You know, like me and Dana talked about, some health issues. Just I've been having these random weird headaches and stuff like that. Mental fatigue. I struggle with vertigo, so moving too fast sometimes. I get dizzy.
Do you
I haven't
take
gotten
medication
faint.
for it?
Nah, I don't do drugs. I'm not a fan.
So I'm not big on medication either. But thank God I don't have any conditions that require me to take medication. I feel like if you do have an issue or like some type of illness, then yes, take your medication to help you live like a comfortable lifestyle.
I don't think it necessarily catches up on me or anything like that. Most of the time, it's just you got to drink your water. You got to be properly hydrated. Yeah, a lot of it is just you're probably struggling from like dehydration or whatnot. So because me, I have a really loaded schedule. Like, it's a lot. Like, even like this weekend, right? We had the party last night, and I got a baby party to go to, retirement parties, podcasts. I worked every day last week, you know, and I'm starting a new part-time job. It's just a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
where do you find time for yourself?
You don't. But I'm actually looking at it as an opportunity where it's like I'm gonna put myself on the back burner because I'm grinding for a reason. Like, it's things that I need, it's things that I want.
So this is like a temporary grind. It's not like for the next 10 years.
I know what 2 full-time jobs look like. I lived with it for quite a long time. It's taxing, not just on yourself, on relationships, on friendships. So I don't want to do it to the point where it's like I'm burning myself out and burning out the people around me. Like, we doing something together. If I'm over here tired as shit because I just work 80 hours, like this podcast is going to struggle from something like that. So it's like you got to not be selfish to that point. But at the same time, I realize that my selfishness is a product of my selflessness, right? And my selflessness is a product of my selfishness. So it's backwards.
Yeah.
Like the shit that I do
like
for everybody else.
Cycle.
Yeah, it's like I get off on that. But then it's like I can't operate if everybody else ain't eating. So it's just a weird dichotomy that I'm dealing with. But at the same time, just because I love y'all. I love my coworkers. I love my people.
We're really trying hard to, put out the content. And we've actually been very consistent.
It's that 100K.
We literally got 100K views on one of our reels. And one of the I don't want to put his name out there.
Nah, we gonna put his name out there.
Okay, put his name out there.
Hey, he posted us, Dr. Boyce Watkins. A renowned. He's a renowned Syracuse economist.
I think he's a professor.
Yeah, he's a professor. He's big on like YouTube, just discussing Black economics.
Yeah, he
Black
reposted
state.
Our reel that hit 100K views, and now like the views are going up even more. So shout out to you. We appreciate it.
And again, like we talked about earlier with the doctor's visits, it's all about the gradually versus the suddenly, right? All we need is like small little incremental wins like that, right? As we gradually get bigger.
Small little share goes a long way.
Goes a long way.
Okay, that was a really long catch up. So we can actually segue into our first topic, because we know you guys love relationship and dating conversation. We're going to talk about the best way to end or break up a relationship.
And this wasn't my idea at all.
So
just letting y'all know.
This was mine because I do a lot of reflecting sometimes, and one thing I was reflecting on was previous relationships and how things ended. And one that stuck out the most, mind you, I've only had like 2 serious relationships. Like I'm not out here just dating everybody. But one that stuck out the most was I got broken up with. Okay, this is very personal. But one time, which was kind of traumatic, it was on New Year's Eve.
Damn.
So
you didn't get a kiss that day, huh?
No, but you know what was fucked up? And Marvin be trying it. So me and one of my exes, like, we went out to Maryland because that's like where he went to school at, and that's where his friends were having like a New Year's Eve party. So I'm like, all right, bet, like I'm down. So we get there, and it's sort of like the same thing like last night. It's like a game night, house party, like vibes, and it was dope. Like it was a great time. So I'm there just mingling with everybody, like working the room. Like when I start to, drink, like I'm just gonna just talk to everybody.
Listen, I'm the same way, so I understand.
Yeah, so that was the case. And then I noticed that the guy I was dating, he was kind of just in a corner, not really like talking to anybody. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. But I'm
jealous ass nigga.
Probably. Anyway, so it was probably like 10 o'clock at this point on New Year's Eve. And then
damn, she didn't even make it to the ball drop?
No, I didn't. Listen.
Sorry, that's not funny.
It was so traumatic. So then he's like, I want to talk to you. So I'm like, okay, sure. He was like, honestly, basically saying how this isn't working for me and like blah, blah, blah. And that was it. Like, we literally broke up like 2 hours before the ball dropped and the clock turned 12. And then coming home, it was like a 3-hour drive.
And y'all had to drive together?
Yes.
Damn.
It was the longest 3 hours of my fucking life. Like, I didn't say shit. I'm like, don't fucking talk to me. And I think that's also why now I like to drive myself places because of that experience as well. So where if I feel uncomfortable, like, I want to just leave.
That's another example of the gradually versus the suddenly. Like, y'all had some situation that gradually was just starting to build up, and then suddenly it hit.
Take me out the state. And then
I think a lot of people in relationships, even when they feel like it's fizzling out, it's still something there. Like, this is why I always believe that you should be friends with your exes.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Because even though shit ain't working, it's like, I still like you as a person. Like, I don't know how to hurt your feelings without hurting your feelings. Because that's what breaking up is. It's like, I'm going to hurt you. But how do I do that to somebody I really value, or I have a good time with, or I enjoy the physical intimacy that we share and different things like that. So maybe he just something triggered him.
I don't know, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to unpack there. But to go back to what you just said, like being friends with your ex, like my recent ex, like we ended things on good terms to where we were cool with just like talking and like communicating.
And that's healthy.
Yeah, and it was fine. Like it was great. But it got to a point where it was like we're talking a lot now. Like we're getting back into that routine of a relationship, but it's not a relationship.
But what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is when you constantly are setting time aside to talk to an ex, there's no time left to get to know somebody new.
Because I'm a very big conversationalist, I don't necessarily agree with that. Not that you're wrong, but I do believe that, especially texting, right?
We was on the phone.
Yeah, see, that's how I know Dana a little bit. I'm like, she's not texting nobody. She's on the phone with him. So that's different type of time spent.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you're having these conversations and building up through text, which is why it's probably a healthier form of communication, you get a chance to flex that communication style.
I'm just like, because it's like when you texting constantly, there's no like personable piece to it to me. Like I want to hear your voice. Like I want us to communicate on a deeper level where like I'm hearing the just the different. What is it called? That
like excitement and stuff, like the different tones in your voice.
Yeah, the tones, exactly.
All of that kind of stuff. I get you. Because I'm such a friendly person, and I realize like if I give you all this time on the phone, I'm still going to have you on speaker or have my headphones in, and I'm still going to be texting and doing multiple things at once.
Yeah.
So I'm able to flex that communication and have that work for me, which is why I'm able to maintain a bunch of friendships, because it's like, I know access and boundaries are very important, as we continue to say, but it's like sometimes you got to open that up, because you missing out on great friendships because love didn't work, right? I remember I broke up with this girl in high school. I just didn't like her, right?
You didn't like her on like a...
Like I just didn't... I wanted to be a hoe. No, I wanted to be a hoe.
Okay, that's different.
And it's like, I just don't want to be with you, but I like you as a person. So how am I going to do this to the point where it's like we can keep in touch, maybe keep kicking it without you being on my head?
See, that's the thing though. Like when one person likes the other person, because that was the case with me and my ex. So where like I was cool with the friendship just because like we had a dope ass friendship.
Which is dope.
Yeah. But he was just like, honestly, I just like you too much and like care about you too much to just be cool with being your friend. And also like I'm not like, I don't want to be your friend and then see you move on to a new relationship and then like I still have those feelings for you. Are
those feelings gonna go away because of anything else? Like those feelings still stay there.
They don't
you can
go
move
away.
On.
Right, they don't go away. But I think like I respected it because I'm more so one of those people to where if you tell me that something's not working for you and you're straight up and honest about it, I'm gonna just be like, okay, do what you think is for your best interest in order for you to move on. So there's no like animosity there. It's just like, all right, this isn't working for you, so cool. I'm a step back and let you live your life and do what you got to do and just hope that you're happy in the process.
And that's why I think it's important to know each other's love languages, right? And not just a love language from a relationship perspective, but that's a friendship.
Yeah.
Right? You were able to listen to that person on that more platonic level and really understand that person to not jeopardize how that person feels. That was some growth type shit. It was. Because that's hard.
It was hard.
Especially when you're somebody where it's like you are in a position of power, where you know that this person likes you more. You know that
people take that shit for granted. Like they take advantage of people like that too. It's like they know that this person will literally stick beside them regardless. What was it? The guy, was he a pastor or something? Do you remember that meme?
Derek Jackson?
Yeah. And his wife was like, I'm going to stick beside him when she had the bonnet on. And then they ended up getting a divorce because he was like out and about with different women. But that's like one of the extreme cases to where you have someone who is just willing to just deal with your bullshit, right? and you treating them however you want because, like, that they'll always be there for you, even though you don't see them in that light. Like, you don't want to continue to be married to them. You don't want a relationship from them. And you don't necessarily communicate that. You just keep doing you.
And I think that's the important part, that you're not communicating that. And it's not that you're not communicating it. It's you're not communicating it properly, right? How do I need this information to be conveyed to me so I understand? And I think in a lot of capacities, that's where we fuck up. I believe the word is a makita. It's like the elephant in the room. It's a New Zealand term. I just learned it. I had an effective communications course. And a lot of us, I'm just saying shit, I'll be learning.
No, I like that though, because you bring it to the podcast.
A lot of us don't know how to effectively communicate with each other. We don't know the what, the why, the when, the how, and the where. And I know those are simple questions, but we have to uncover that when we have tough conversations to have with people, because we're afraid.
Yeah, and I think the people that you have in your life that you've known for so long, like, exactly how to get through to them, right? Like, what to say and what to do to make them understand that this is just not working, or like something has to change. So I think, like, if you like step outside of yourself and not just thinking from like a selfish point of view and like think about the other person's feelings, then I feel like,
that's where I tend to struggle.
We know that you struggle with other people's feelings.
Just like the girl I was telling you about in high school, like I figured the only way I could break up with her is to give her something that makes sense to me and not make sense to her. So it was basketball season, trying to be a senior, trying to make it to the playoffs, do all this shit, right? I told her, I said, yo, I can't focus on basketball and a relationship.
God. You said that?
I did.
And she was just like, all right. Like,
she did that, and then her mother cursed me out in Walmart.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I'm like, shit, my bad. She had just threw me, first off, she had just threw me a birthday party in McDonald's, my 17th birthday party. It was the sweetest gesture I've probably ever had in my life at that point. And 5 days later, it's not funny, but my bad. I hope you're doing well.
Speaking of love languages, like, do you think love languages should apply to like family and friends?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, like for instance,
I never thought about it in that way until you wrote it on the outline.
I'm big on quality time, right, from a relationship perspective. But is that truly what I value with my friends, my family? Like, maybe like Christmas comes and I really like gifts that really matters to me. Maybe not for me, but my children, right? Or words of affirmation. We don't know when those words can help each other because we're so focused on not paying attention to each other. We just trying to get through the motions. Even at work, you don't really pay attention to how your coworkers feel. You don't really pay attention to how they feel. You just try to operate based on what you feel. And I think that's important.
I think for me, when it comes to love languages within my family and friends, now that I think about it, when it comes to my family, like, I don't necessarily see quality time, like physically being together, as one of my top needs, because we do communicate a lot through group chats, text messages, phone calls, FaceTimes. Like, to me, that's enough.
Do you think that's quality?
It is.
I agree.
It is a form of quality time, but like, it's not like physically having to be in each other's like presence.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what makes it unique, right? Because me and Nashim actually had this conversation recently, because our views of quality time are different, right?
Oh, talk about it.
So her view of quality time is attentiveness, presence, taking your phone and putting it away.
We're the exact same.
Right? Whereas my view of quality time is being there, right? You and me in the same room. We don't have to talk to each other. We don't even have to communicate, whatever. I
think that defeats the purpose.
Yeah, but it's my time. It's how I feel about the time, right? And that's with anybody, even family. I don't need to laugh and chuck it up with you. I just want to be around you because I'm not around my family. Like, living 2 hours away, it's like the moment that I walk into that door is quality for me.
Right.
So it's like different strokes for different folks. And I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration.
I mean, I think, like, it sounds like there is no set boundary from love languages with family and love languages with a significant other. Like, to me, it is different just because with my significant other, I was not recently, but I was dating somebody at a point in time. And when we would hang out, like, they would constantly just be on their phone. And like Nashima said, like, to me, that's not actually being in the moment and like actually spending time together. Because if all your focus and attention is like on your phone and Instagram and what's going on in the group chat, I'm sitting there like, okay, I guess, like, it makes me feel insecure because I'm like, I guess my presence isn't really that important to make you want to put your phone down and actually like have conversation with me. So when it comes to dating, like, yes, like, I need that. But if I'm like with my family and we're all just like hanging out or watching a movie or whatever, it's like, yeah, we're all here, but I don't have to constantly talk to you or like want you to give me all of your undivided attention for me to feel, you know, full.
But that's also what makes it unique to me, right? Because when you're around your family, it's quality time where you have distractions. So it's possible. But because you're in a relationship and you don't want those distractions, it changes your definition of quality time. It changes your definition of physical touch, right? Sex, kissing, intimacy, right? Whereas with my family, it's high fives, it's hugs, it's attaboys, pats on the back, different things like that. Like, it changes. It's fluid.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people apply fluidity to love languages. And I think that's where we struggle a little bit. It's nuance. And the moment that we recognize that nuance is how we truly love, then we're not going to. Because maybe for you, you felt insecure, right, when that individual was on their phone. But maybe for them, they felt out of the loop. They felt business or...
They felt like... So they actually ended up telling me, like, their phone, and this is the case for a lot of people, it brings them comfort. Like, if they're feeling... not insecure, but if they're feeling uncomfortable or like they don't know what to say, like they'll just go to their phone and be like, okay, like, I feel safe just like looking through stuff. And then it's like, no, because then it makes me feel like, okay, you can't, like, it's just the conversational skills just aren't there. And to me, like, when it comes to a significant other, like, that is top and that is important. So if you can't give me that because of your insecurities, then it's just not gonna work. And
the important part about damn, I'm dying over here. The important part about that entire discussion, it's nasty. I don't know what Marvin got in that fridge. No, I'm not. I'm messing with you, Marvin. The important part about that is just that flexing of communication.
Yeah.
Right. Dealing with the uncomfortable elephant in the room. It's like I'm bringing it. You know, it's coming today. I must have been practicing, you know, in front of the mirror or something.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you said you had a communication class, right?
I did.
What made you take that?
It was work. It was just like into the next steps of management. We want to help you know how to communicate to people. And honestly, I think the hardest part about it is knowing people when they lie. It's like, I can't have effective communication when you be bullshit.
Was that a thing they went over?
They
like
did.
How to tell when someone lies?
But
tell us, like, what are the signs?
Well, not necessarily that they lie, but they also say, give people a chance to explain themselves, right? Don't assert your feelings into anything. Like, it's emotional currency in every conversation that you have, right? So if you give too much power to how you feel versus how someone else's feels, it's going to imbalance the conversation. So you can
take that from like, even from like a management point to your personal life and relationships. Yeah. Because this was something one of my friends, we did discuss about a particular friend of ours, how when we express stuff that we're going through, the friend has to basically top it or try to make it seem like what we're going through is not as bad as what they're dealing with. And it just makes you not want to talk to those kind of people, because it's like, damn, like, I'm not trying to have a conversation or a competition of whose struggle is worse. Like, it's more so like, I want to talk to you as a friend.
But I also think, sorry, I'm too far. I also think that's trauma bonding too, from that individual, where that person is trying to express themselves, and the only way they know how is, oh, it hurts me too, or this hurts me also.
About it like that.
And part of that is like, all right, let me take a step back, because clearly this person is crying out. And do I recognize it, or am I more so overly emotional because they're coming in and they're trying to hijack the moment?
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest issues in my relationship, is like, I'm mad at you. You can't be mad at me for being mad at you. You can't take away my moment. Like, and then it's a lot of men struggle with this. When the woman flips it onto them, it's now like, wait, I got to make you feel better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But it's
big.
like, I'm upset.
That's big. Yeah, I personally don't do that, and I don't like that, just because when it's been done to me in the past, where I am just saying like my issues with the relationship or something the person did, and then it's like, well, I'm going to deflect. It's like,
or
well, you
tat.
did this to me, and like, you're not really validating my feelings. And to me, it's like, okay, this isn't really going anywhere, because it's just a back and forth, and it's not really trying to find a resolution.
Yes, and that was honestly part of what our effective communication course, one of our issues was. Like, I had brought the girl into the office, the same girl with the white tears. And it was a bunch of deflection. It was a bunch of, well, you said this and you made me feel this. So I actually sat her down one day and I said, okay, I apologize that you feel a way about what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
But do me a favor. Tell me if I told you anything that was wrong. Tell me if I told you anything that is against policy, anything that you feel like is detrimental or hurts you. You couldn't. You were more upset because I wasn't my normal self towards you. And that's not necessarily fair to me.
She took it personal.
She took it personal because I wasn't telling her the directions with a smile on my face. I don't need to do that. Like, I run this building. I need you to just do what I tell you to do and keep it pushing.
That's something that I feel like can be a struggle. It is something that I've recently tried to work on, where, like, if someone is basically responding to you in a different tone than they normally do, most times it's not about you. Like, most times what they're dealing with is like, it has nothing to do with you, so don't take it personal, because that's with one of my managers. He tends to, well, he confides in me too, but he tells me, we're not even going to talk about the guy from last night.
Oh, no, we're not
talking about his wife and
no,
his side chick.
We don't know nothing about none of that. I don't even remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, but like, that's just an example of like, people just be feeling hella comfortable with me.
There's pictures out here, damn. Come on, man.
Anyway, yeah, so my manager, like, he tends to send me messages, especially through the like Slack or Teams, like the Teams chat. And he'll say things to where it's like, can you add this task or whatever the case? And I'll be like, this just happened actually a couple days ago. I was like, are you asking me or are you telling me? Like, are you asking me like how to do it, or are you telling me to do it? And he was like, oh, I'm asking you if you can do this for me, please. And I was like, oh, okay, bet, like, I'm gonna do it. But after that, we ended up having a meeting to where he was telling me how someone from a different team, like, she was just like coming at him about some shit that wasn't really like that big of an issue. And he was like, oh, I'm just like dealing with this mentally, so don't take anything that I say. Like he actually vocalizes when he's going through stuff, and then he'll just tell me like what the issue is, even though I don't ask to hear it. But just to know that, like, okay, my manager is like, it like humanizes them, right? Like, it's like they're going through shit and it's not personal directed towards you, so don't take it personal.
And I think that's super duper important, because depending on where you work, right, you don't want people to feel like you're inaccessible, like you're closed off, like you're a robot. Like, all you want to do is give direction and delegate. It's like, no, we're humans. Like, I make sure, like, after I had that conversation, I pulled one of my other coordinators aside, and I said, can you tell me if this is really like what it sounds like? Like, do I talk to you like that? Do I make anyone else feel this way? Because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But at the same time, I want to be realistic. I want to make sure that maybe I am coming off a little strong. And she told me, she said, you know, honestly, when you talk to her, it's a little different than when you talk to everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that reminds me of a conversation I had with my boss probably like 2 months ago, a few months ago, to where he was telling me about a previous employee that he had, where this employee, like, he came to work, did his job, went above and beyond, like, never really like caused any issues. And then slowly this same employee, he started showing up to work late, and he just noticed like there was a change in this employee's demeanor. So he ended up just pulling the employee aside and just asking him like, hey, like, what's going on? And then come to find out that he recently came to this country. Like, a lot of his family members were immigrants, and that he was also he was walking 3 miles to and from work because he didn't have a car. Like, he didn't have a license or anything. So he got, I believe he was like walking on the side of like Route 1 or something, and he kept getting pulled over by police, and like police started like fucking with him or whatever.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So my boss ended up connecting him with somebody so that he can get a car and like get his license expedited and all of those things. But I think it's nice when you have those managers who realize, like, yo, like, just because we're here at a job, like, it's not solely just work based. Like, I wanna like get some type of inkling of what's going on in your personal life, because it does affect your work life. Yeah. And my response, because I thought about it after, I was like, why the fuck did I say that? But I was like, do you think it's your job to have that like personal like responsibility about the employee's like home life and stuff? And he kind of just broke it down, basically saying all of that, and like how, you know, it does affect your work and stuff like that. And he wants to be the boss to where it's like when you see him, like you want to like say hi and stuff like that, and not like avoid him.
Absolutely.
So I was like, oh, okay, like that's different. So when I do eventually become a manager, I'm gonna definitely need like communication classes. And
I believe in corporate responsibility. Like, I think I took a class in like 8th grade, like a management class, and it was talking about like how McDonald's and all these big corporations, like, they don't give back to their people. Like, they feel irresponsible for your livelihoods and the issues and ailments that affect you.
You know what I think it might be? I think it might be the level, and this does sound a little fucked up, but I think it's the level of the job. Because when you think of people who work at McDonald's, Burger King, like any of those fast food places, most times they're either like in high school or like they just need a little part-time job. It's not something that they're gonna be at for most times. Like, they're not there for like 5 to 10 years,
but a lot of times they are, and that's the reality of life, right? We got people that are struggling out here, people that I only get 10 to 12 to 15 hours a week. I'm working multiple jobs. I'm working this retail job, this airport job, this gas station job, literally just to have a roof over my head, where hours are inconsistent, where the management treats me like shit. So that's why, me personally, I jump in there and I want to know what your life is. I love when I talk to the kids that like got ambitions. The college kids, like, shout out to my college girls. They know who they are. They watch every they watch every episode. Shout out to my fave specifically, because that's my favorite. No, I'm not gonna put no names out there because they're gonna run this back. But I also had a kid when I worked at Target, right? His name is Sal. I just seen him yesterday, actually, when I went to get your birthday card. Sorry, I got a card yesterday.
I do that. Like, I literally pick up the gift. Right,
but I hired this kid fresh out of high school, right? No work experience whatsoever. Literally Similac on his breath. Like, he was that young. He probably was 17.
Okay.
And I remember one of my assistants. He brought him to me. He was like, "Listen, I don't know nothing about this kid's work ethic, but his brain, like, he's so there. I think you should give him a chance." I'm the type of person, if you tell me that, I'm not even going to interview you. I'm going to just hire you, because I trust the people that I work with.
Okay.
And the first thing he told me was, I'm going to become a state trooper. That's my ambitions. That's my dreams. So I'm like, anything you need, let me know. Even if it's just conversations, getting you through the day, whatever I can do to help. I was in the state trooper process. Maybe I know somebody. I know a couple state troopers that if you give me like some time, I can help you out.
Was he a state trooper when you saw him?
No, he was a high school student.
Oh, okay.
So that had to be 2018. And I seen him yesterday, and he told me, he was like, "Aaron, I'm so excited. I just got hired as a PD. I'm not going to put his town out there. But he's now going to be working for the PD. So good for him. It's good to see those people still remember me after 2 years. It's like, you helped me. You got me there.
It sounds like you've been someone who was an important part of their life at that point, and you kind of like helped him get to the next level. Yeah, you gave him the confidence and that he needed and the support.
Have you had anybody in your life that did that for you from a work perspective?
From a work perspective, I would say yes. Like, my current job that I have, like, I did get it I definitely have the skill set and, you know, the background and stuff for the job. But I had my old coworker, like he's now a global manager, like he oversees different regions of my company. So he remembers my work ethic when we were coworkers a couple years ago, and he did refer me to the position. He was like, he spoke like very highly of me. He's like, Dana, she's very organized, like she gets shit done, like she's the person for this role. So yeah, I think it's important to have those advocates speak for you.
Have those lifelines out there.
Yeah.
Like, cause I thought I had one. I worked at Lowe's a couple years back. I was doing like the truck in the back room and whatnot. So usually those type of people, management, they don't really talk to you. You got a job to do the job, get in, get out. So one day I did overtime because I was about that money, right? So I'm doing overtime, and the assistant manager, he never spoke to me ever. He seen me one day. He was like, "Huh, you're working real hard. I like what you're doing there." So I said, "Oh yeah, you know, just anything for the crew." He was like, "What are you doing with yourself?" I said, "Well, my financial aid just got cut. I was going to Kane at the time, and they had cut my financial aid. They cut the track team, so I was out of school. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to work at Lowe's, work at Toys R Us. It was right next to each other at the time.
I remember.
So whatever I got to do, get some money, do whatever I got to do." So he put me in his office one day. He was like, "Yeah, talk to me. Tell me what's your ambitions. I might have a position for you, this, that, and the third." So he was all excited. He was like, "I think I got a good one." The next day, I came in, I was doing the truck, and I was in a good ass mood. I used to sing on the truck. I used to do a whole bunch of random shit, having a good time. The operations manager came to the truck that night with an attitude. His wife must have cheated on him or something.
Why it had to be that?
Because he used to come in with issues with his marriage and stuff.
Okay.
So he came in one day, he said, "Everybody get the fuck off the truck." So I'm like, "Damn, bro, your wife must have did something again tonight, right?"
Yeah.
Because we used to joke like that.
Okay.
He's like, "Y'all know the fuck you talking to? I'll beat your ass."
Ooh.
I said, "I don't know the fuck you talking to. I'll beat your ass."
Yeah.
So then we start puffing up to each other like, "Nah, I don't know who this nigga think he is." Like, I play around a lot, but I ain't no bitch.
Yeah.
He was a big ass dude too. He was like a linebacker. But again, I ain't no bitch. So I stepped to him. But I'm not gonna fight at work because, you know, I got shit to do.
Right.
So it was that. So they got the management involved. It's like, "All right, everybody, I'm gonna send Aaron. You go home for the night." I don't remember what his name was. It's like,
it
you just chill because you got to run the building. So they wasn't gonna kick him out the building.
Okay.
I came in the next day, and I talked to that same assistant, and he was like, "You know, I just seen so much potential and so much promise in you, and I just don't know what happened in such little time." I'm like, "What happened?"
Right.
He was like, "Well, you cursed at a manager." I said, "Yeah, because he cursed at me."
Yeah, he was coming at you.
He was like, "Well, unfortunately, we can't have that, so
So
we're going to
you
have
got
to
fired?
terminate." I got fired because my life is all about literally having one issue. Whether I worked at Black & Decker, and they fired me for one issue, having like a fucking tape measure in the top of a Home Depot. You ever been to Home Depot and seen that overhead?
I go to Home Depot every now and then.
Like, it was some bullshit. Fired me. When I worked at the storage place, literally promoted in 3 months, got 2 transfers, 2 lateral promotions, 1 issue. Granted, my brother's girlfriend did some bullshit.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's like, sometimes them lifelines don't help you when you have people that are willing to be looking at you like you're disposable.
Yeah.
So I make sure that I look out for people because I don't want them to be in a situation like
yeah,
me.
that's definitely dope as a manager. I would say though that I'm big on like everything happens for a reason. Like things don't work out because there are better opportunities and doors that do open. So we are coming to the end of the episode, and before we get out of here, we're gonna just keep this segment because I think it's dope. So
I'm gonna let you go first.
I am gonna go first.
Right.
Okay, so the segment is highlighting. It was initially highlighting just Black influential people because it was Black History Month in February, but March is Women's History Month.
Shout out to the ladies.
Shout out to the women. I am going to give this to myself. Okay.
Time out. How you gonna take mine?
That's what you're gonna pick.
It's your birthday. Like, what else is I supposed to? I'm gonna get another one.
I'm not. Yeah, you have a few minutes to think about it. So I'm not giving it to myself because it's my birthday, though. I'm giving it to myself because I do feel like I am very influential when it comes to just like my family dynamic. I've said on this podcast multiple times how my grandma is someone that I'm really close to. And she's the person who does like give me the courage and the motivation to keep going. And she did say how like I do inspire her at her age of like 70 something to just like want to get into. She wanted to get into podcasting too. I'm like,
she coming on.
Yeah, but I just think that's dope. So the fact that I have someone who is the oldest person that I know and that I'm related to sees me in that light, I'm like, damn, like I must be dope.
You are dope. Shout out to Dana.
Shout out to me.
But I prepped for this moment, and I figured have an extra.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to give a huge shout out to my great grandmother. Rest in peace to Mama, aka Big D. Big D. So I have a large family. She had 7 children, magnificent children, right? My grandmother is the oldest of 7. And it's only one son, my Uncle Ricky, that's Justin's dad, and then there's 5 more of them. They all dope, they all awesome people, and they spread this tree of my immediate family, and it all starts with her, right? And it's been a whirlwind since she passed on, but not necessarily in a negative way. It's been a whirlwind of togetherness.
Okay.
Like, she kept us in that loop. She kept us in that position where, and her birthday was last month. So shout out to the Pisces.
Yes.
Right.
We love a Pisces.
She kept us in that position where love is love and family is ever present. So a big shout out to her. I also want to give a big shout out to my cousin Karima, who passed on also. She's going to be 50 this year. Me and my cousin Jameer. I'm sorry if I put that out there. I know we just talked about it yesterday, but we're going to celebrate. This is family. This is love. This is life. So shout out to all of the ladies, especially my little lady in the back, Nori. Love you, baby. Shout out to all the ladies.
Shout out to Nashima as well, because she's back there, making sure everything
yes, queen,
gets done the way it needs to get done. So like that was a dope ass episode. And if you guys want to join the conversation or get some advice about some shit you got going on, you could definitely reach out to us at WOAWpod@gmail.com.
That was kind of perfect. You was practicing.
Nah, I just know how to articulate now. Anyway,
with that being
said, y'all, we are outside and we out.
Yeah.